Like all good stories, this story starts with my mom and dad, or Mama Bear and Daddy O. And my mom was a marathon runner. She ran 12 marathons, and her fastest marathon time was 3 hours and 12 minutes in Chicago in 1995 while she was pregnant with me. And so I guess you could say that I was born to run. And about 5 years ago, I read a book by the same name, Born to Run by Christopher McDougall. And in this book, he talks about people running 100 miles. And when I first read that, it was unbelievable. I couldn't imagine that human beings were capable of running 100 miles. And I knew at that point that I was going to run 100 miles. And so 3 years later, I ran my first 100-kilometer race and came in 8th. And then a year after that, I decided to head out west to do some bigger runs. And I linked up with a friend, Walter Staiano from Naples, Italy. And we started doing some big runs. We ran to the top of Mount Whitney, the tallest peak in the contiguous United States. We scrambled through the high alpine boulder fields of Mount Agassiz. And you could see me in that little picture. And then we cruised through the canyons in Bryce National Park. And this was all in preparation for the biggest run, rim to rim to rim in the Grand Canyon. 50 miles, 10,000 feet of vertical elevation gain and decline. And we decided to do it in July. So 120-degree heat. And so we started that run on July 13th on a Tuesday morning at 4 a.m. And then about 48 hours later, I posted this photo. 379 likes. My most liked photo. Yeah. But I think what I didn't post is more telling. And what I didn't talk about was the 2 days that I spent in the hospital with acute hyponatremia, severe dehydration, severe kidney failure, and severe liver failure. What I didn't talk about was having to crawl my hands and knees for the last mile, covered in my own throat, trying to get out of this canyon. And what I really didn't talk about was when Walter left and I was alone in the dark, in the rain, with the entire canyon stretched before me. And closing my eyes and wondering, is this it? And I wish that that was the moment when everything changed, when life got better, when I was happy and loving, but it wasn't. And the opposite happened. I had almost died, and now life felt meaningless. Nothing had changed. My life was still the same, and I was medically not allowed to run. And personally, I didn't trust myself to. And so for a while, I was just in this discomfort. I just couldn't be happy until finally it just bubbled over so much where on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but this isn't working. I got to just get out of here. And so I left and I went to Mexico, a little town called Sayulita, where I fell in love with running for the first time. And there I took the watch off and I left my phone behind. I just started running. And I was running through the jungles and the beaches and the rocks and the animals. And finally, after those runs, I'd find peace. I'd find that peaceful state of mind that I've been looking for. And I realized then, like, if I can find this peace after the run, there's no reason I can't feel this peace all day before the run. You know, there's nothing about the run. And so that's when I started meditating. So I ran to find peace. and I meditated to habituate it. And really, that's all I've been doing ever since. And about a year later, I went back to Mexico. Just can't seem to stay away. And I ran, supported by all the friends that helped me through that tough time. And you can see I don't get nearly as many likes these days. But I certainly like myself a whole lot more.